All right, welcome in to a special edition of the CatCast. After the last episode, I decided to do another episode because I got a comment about my last show rather quickly, and I want to help people when they write back so that we can actually have dialogue that is productive and meaningful. That's what this show is about, all right? So, I have my Boba hat turned my Boba Fett hat turned around backwards. I'm going to give you a look at it real quick. It actually looks better the other way, and but since we're doing a connected topic, then I thought I will. I'm just going to put it up more, but I think it's fine. I'm just going to wear the hat turned around. I wanted to show it this way anyways. I started doing the podcast and I realized that my mic was on mute. I was like, son of a... So we're starting it over, but we'll do it better this time. Actually, Kitty was in the background causing a ruckus, and I think it was meant to not be continued, you know? So I think I had to start over anyways. She was really just not being good, getting her paw stuck on the blinds and all that stuff. So we're gonna go now though to our special edition episode, okay? Right into it. So I got a comment from a viewer, and it's not a helpful comment really, because it doesn't tell me anything. So I want to help people. We want to have productive conversations here, which means we help each other, we enlighten each other, and if you want to leave a comment, try to actually direct us to what you're talking about, okay? And the reason we ask that is for sourcing, okay? So that we can actually look it up and, you know, verify it. But mainly because it's, if you have questions that I want some people to answer them. If you're watching my show and you know the answers, the worst thing you can do is the first thing this person writes. The Quran has answered all of your questions. Okay, I'm supposed to read the whole Quran to get these answers? Just tell me some of the answers. You want me to read the whole Quran? No verses, nothing, okay? Just the Quran has your answers. That doesn't look like it. Do you know the answers? You probably don't even know where the answers are, or otherwise you could tell me where to go, right? But you don't even want to spend that much time to help Kat. You just want to make a comment and be sly, but not be helpful. This is I'm confrontational because I've had such good comments from everybody, and then this person comes along and expects me, they spent the time to watch my show, but I don't think they watched the whole thing. And you'll find out why later. But they spent the time to watch the show enough to make a comment, but then not give me anything to go from, okay? So he just says that it answers all my questions, okay? And then he goes to asking me questions, okay? I present this query for your consideration. Reflect on this point. Christianity emerged with Jesus during the 1st century CE. John the Baptist, who was born prior to Jesus and is not explicitly classified as Jewish. Therefore, what religion did he adhere to? Is his question, okay? Then what about Abraham, Lot, Ishmael, and Isaac, okay? Well, we are talking about Abraham and the original religion. This person may not know that, but that's what yesterday's episode was about, and then today's episode. We continued it. So Obviously, I know that Jesus was born in the first century, okay? I'm not sure what his point is there, okay? And we did talk about John the Baptist, okay? Not explicitly said Jewish, but we all know it's the God of Abraham, okay? There was no separation originally. I think this person is trying to say that Muslims were separate from the original Christian doctrine from the beginning of time, which to me doesn't make any sense because of a lot of the stuff we've been discussing. But I'm having trouble even understanding what this guy is saying. I'm going to read you my response, and then we're going to have a great discussion on this now. I wish you would have answered my question instead of directing me to the Quran without any verses, things to look up, the actual areas. I would appreciate him actually just telling me and then citing them, but whatever. I would have appreciated him at least telling me where to go, okay? For me to look up. I understand Jesus was born in the first century, and if you understand Christianity, then you know that the original system was not working. But nevertheless, we pray to the same God, the God of Abraham. And we are quibbling over the stuff man created afterwards. Do you understand what I am saying? I do appreciate you sharing a response. Just work on being better at giving the information to me. Never ask people to look things up for themselves. Direct them right to where it is to make your point better. Otherwise, you look like a cop-out. No offense. That was as nice as I could be to the person here that is Fardua Shabira Ramila. FIRDAUSBINRAMLI. I don't know why people do their name all bunched together without underscore or anything, because I can't tell how even to say that, and I'm not trying to be offensive, but I like to give the person credit for their post, even one that was worthless, you know. And I question that they even watched the entire video from them talking about Abraham and John the Baptist. I don't know how much they watched, but when you don't watch all of my video and then you make a response, you're probably going to look a little foolish about it. So, since he won't answer my questions, I thought, we'll just try to Google them, you know. I'll just Google questions and find out what the answers are, you know. But it's not going to really give me the answers I'm looking for, I can tell you right now. That's why I need a real Muslim to tell me, because things seem like they're contradictions. It's the contradictions that give me pause. The things that just don't... You know how Spock was all about logic and not emotion? That's what I try to do this CatCast by. Logic, not emotion. So I need to have logic to a story for me to believe said story. If the story doesn't make any sense, you know, even with like sci-fi stories, if some of the science doesn't make sense, like time movies, it bothers the heck out of me. And so when it comes to religion, and I've even commented on how I don't agree with a lot of things, you know, because my God is not going to punish people for where they're born, you know. That's a big change. There aren't too many people that believe that. Most people are believing either you're the right religion or you're not. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, you know. But the thing is, they're trying to make our religion as not being monotheistic and not being the original religion of Abraham, the God of Abraham, which we are. Why would we believe in the same story of Adam and Eve if it's not the God of Abraham? And it doesn't make sense. And I need somebody to tell me, not just say it explains it in the Quran. You know what I'm saying? That's like people just saying, there's global warming. Okay, can you show me the evidence? It's on the internet. Thanks. Yeah, I'll search the entire internet for that. Yep. You know, not everything in the internet is the truth, right? So I gotta find the ones that you found and verify that they're real. But you just told me to look the whole internet up. It's weird though, right? I'm trying to think of how I can Google the question right now. How can I even Google this question that I want to know? How do we know that the Prophet Muhammad was really a prophet? For Muslims, the primary evidence for Muhammad's prophet comes from a combination of the Quran, his personal character and conduct, his numerous prophecies that were reportedly fulfilled during and after his lifetime. The central proof for Muslims is the Quran itself, which is considered the verbatim word of God, Allah. Arguments for its divine origin include, we remember though that Muhammad wrote the Quran. I mean, he dictated it to someone who wrote it down, right? Have we established that is correct? Is somebody going to let me know about that? You know, that's what I read. Let me know if I'm wrong. So, obviously, if he wrote it, then he's going to make sure that it makes him who he is, right? I'm having trouble here. This is why I wanted real Muslim to talk to me and not tell me to look it up. You know, hey, look in the Quran. Hey, it says here, Quran is main evidence. But who wrote Quran? Muhammad. It's weird. I'm trying to be funny right now because I seriously don't get it. This is why I wanted real people to comment and tell me stuff. Because it doesn't make sense. All right. Linguistic intimidability. Attainability. The Quran's Arabic is considered a peak of eloquency and clarity, which contemporary Arabs, poets, and masters of the language were unable to match or imitate despite being challenged to do so. All that means is that it was done in that language, right? And that somebody couldn't fake it? Okay. But that doesn't really tell me anything. An unlettered prophet, Muhammad, was known to be illiterate, unable to read or write. The revelation of a book with such depth of knowledge, law, and intricate language is seen as evidence that its source was divine, not human. So, what if Muhammad was like Albert Einstein? Super smart. What if he was like one of those really smart people, you know? We have them all the time. Mozart, whatever. You know, you have somebody super smart. Tesla. You know, way back then, somebody could just be really smart. I don't buy this either. This is why I don't buy this. Scientific allusions. Muslims points to a verse in the Quran that alludes to scientific facts unknown at the time of its revelation, such as the expansion of the universe, the function of the frontal lobe, and the origins of iron on Earth. Now that one has get interested. That one has me interested, the scientific. I like that. Okay. But out of the other two are lame. Muhammad was known for his community in Mecca as Amen, the trustworthy, long before he claimed prophethood. His moral character and actions are considered consistent with that of a prophet. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the thing about him marrying a 6-year-old and then having sex with her at 9. I don't like it. Are you guys saying that's a moral thing? Character and his moral characters and actions. I'm lost. See, this is why I'm lost. This is why I need you guys. I need someone to tell me. I don't need you to say look it up, because when I look it up, it contradicts itself. It makes no sense. Honesty, integrity. Even his enemies entrusted him with their most valuable possessions. Despite gaining immense power and control over Arabia, he maintained a simple, austere lifestyle, which is seen as proof his mission was not for personal gain or ambition. Well, what if it was for legacy? What if it was meant that he will always be thought of as this amazing person that, like, is the most popular name in the world for first name? Surname is Lee, but the most common first name, Muhammad. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of a gain, right? Maybe not then, but his legacy is, like, really secured. Not to me, because I don't like the thing that he did with the little girl, but to Muslims, okay? Mercy and compassion. His profound mercy towards people and animals, even in the face of immense persecution and abuse from his opponents. How is that better than what Jesus did? I mean, did he die on the cross, Muhammad, or anything like that? His unwavering perseverance and trust in God despite immense personal loss and hardship as seen as signs of a man supported by a divine mission. I mean, it's so close to what Jesus did, but it's just a different person. So, does it matter which one? Like, why does it matter, I think, is my main point that I want to get through. If we all like the God of Abraham, then none of the other stuff matters, right? I mean, so we like Jesus, you guys like Muhammad. You guys were still cool with Jesus from what I've read. And so why is it an issue? Is my main question now. When I tried to find out the other questions about the prayer and stuff, all that seemed to be is stuff that was also in the Quran. And I'm like, some of the stuff, I mean, the evidence is just that one person just made this story up is what it sounds like. Until I hear differently, when people start, but from what I've looking up, he wrote the thing, okay? He can't write. But I can think of up stories, okay? And I don't know about, they don't even point to what things he was, like, what prophecies came true. I mean, Nostradamus has a lot of prophecies that have come true, but we don't think that he is a god or anything. I mean, I guess he's considered a prophet too, right? Oh no, Muhammad's the last prophet. Well, then how did Nostradamus know all the stuff he knew? There's been lots of prophets, They're basically psychics, right? A prophet is almost a psychic. And so you guys aren't convincing me. That's all I'm saying. You need to do a better job with Kat about explaining it to me. And don't expect me to look it up, because if I do, I'm finding stuff that makes it sound awful. It's not making your point for me, and I don't know how else to bring it up. I'm like, Color really gets messed up because of that case, I noticed. Sorry about that color. You totally lost my thought now. I guess this is all I got, But really, I am trying to learn. I'm trying not to be mean. I want to understand. But when people don't give me the information I need and they just tell me it's in there and then I go and look it up, it's not helping your case, is my point. I'm actually trying to help the case as best as I can. And I just need it to have logic so I can accept it. Like, I want to believe in aliens, I mean, I pretty much do believe in aliens, but there has to be logic to it. Like, even with my space sci-fi stuff, if the science doesn't make any sense, then I'm like, I don't like it. It bothers me. And they can make up some crazy stuff that I can believe, because I'm like, that, in the future that could happen. But when we're talking about this, I am aghast at what I'm expected to believe. The stuff just doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't it bother anybody that this one person made the whole Quran, And I know they're said with the Bible that you have to believe it all or none of it. And I don't always agree with that because, like I said, it's been edited. We know it's been edited from the Dead Sea Scrolls. So why do you have to believe everything in it? How do you know it's been edited? Like, things bother me. That stone thing with Moses bothers the heck out of Cat. You're supposed to speak to it, not strike it. Now you don't get in. I mean, was it an accident? Did he do that on purpose? I don't believe he did it on purpose. But I could be wrong. But even then, I'm like, it's a rock, Maybe he heard struck instead of talk. I don't know. Maybe the word sounded similar. But to me, that seems like the minorest little thing. And that's why I don't like Old Testament. That's why I'm New Testament. It seemed like back then God was very mean, like wanting to have Abraham sacrifice Isaac, waiting right until that's kind of mean. I know he wants to see that he has faith in God, but I mean, and then being tempted by the devil to do the things to Job, that bothers me because we're not supposed to be tempted by the devil to do those things. Again, I think he's trying to make a point, but that doesn't mean at all that these things actually happened. Maybe it's just to make a point. I don't know. Because I have trouble with some of these stories. They're just outright mean things to do, and it doesn't seem right. So how do you know the Quran is, especially when it's one person that did it? It could really be corrupted, just nobody has any idea because the person made it up. I'm not saying it is. This is just where my logic is. But I want to make sense. The biggest question I have is why God didn't just rescue Jesus and not have somebody in his place. Because I guess it does make sense to the God of... I don't even want to say that. I am lost right now at trying to understand religion. It makes me second guess everything when I'm hearing about these minute differences that people make like it's a big deal. Well, we like Jesus. Well, we like Muhammad. But we all like the same God. So why are we fighting again? Why does anybody care? the Torah, the Gospels. Some of that was okay, but then some of it's not, you know? I think this is all I have for today. We'll get it done early because this was a special one, but I really want people, if you're going to write, please be constructive with it, okay? And I was not trying to be too argumentative today. It's just frustrating, you know? When you're trying to learn things and somebody doesn't help you along the way and they're just like, figure it out. I hated that in school and I hate that now today. If you know, you help to help the person find it out. You don't just say, hey, look it up. Because to me, that makes me think that you don't know where the information is. You don't even know. You're just saying that what I'm saying is not true. If it's not true, direct me to where the truth is so I can read it and know about it. Okay? If I have to listen to the entire Quran, I'll freaking get it and start listening to it. And then I'm going to debate you guys. You know? I'll do it. I'll listen to the entire Quran. But I got a feeling that it's not going to give me the answers I'm looking for. Because nobody can tell me the questions I have. Not even this tablet, when I try to Google it, can answer these questions. Because they're philosophical questions. They're things that don't make sense. Why did God rescue the people from Pharaoh and not just put some other people there like he did with Jesus? We'll just put these people here. Kill them instead. Take them back as slaves. Okay? But Jesus, that's what they did. But then he was miraculously saved. What if he could have been saved in the first place? Then nobody had to die on the cross. God could have struck those people down, and Jesus could have just floated up into heaven. So I don't buy this miracle the way you guys are describing it. And I'm going to end. You guys gotta get better at telling me stuff. This is why people, if you guys can't make better arguments, there's no wonder this is the way it is. I'm gonna figure this out. I will figure it out, because right now it's driving me nuts in my head, trying to understand, putting all these puzzles in place, and I don't understand them. It's weird stuff. To say that a guy is a moral character, but he marries a 6-year-old and then has sex with her at the age of 9. I don't get it. Fix that one for me. 'Cause I'm lost. This has been a special edition of CatCast. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you. I'm a little upset, so I'm just going to end this. Like I said, the only way we will ever stop this garbage that's going on is if people can actually be civil, which I've always been. But I did not like the way the person says it's all in the Quran, Doesn't answer any of my questions. Just says, here, go look it up. Then ask me a question. Well, I hope I answered it for you. All right. Thank you. We'll catch you next time. Cha-ba-cha.